Good morning, everybody. Today's topic for discussion is atropine and atropine substitutes. In last class, we were studying anticholinergic drugs, and to continue with it, today's topic is atropine substitutes. Atropine substitutes means atropine-like drugs, which includes semi-synthetic and synthetic anti-muscarinic agents. Semi-synthetic and synthetic anti-muscarinic agents. And among them, we will study quaternary compounds and tertiary amines. So, to begin with, first, we should know why these atropine substitutes were required. Because atropine is a very powerful drug, but we need atropine-like drugs or atropine substitutes due to certain reasons. Belladonna chlorides have wide range of anti-muscarinic effects, but there is lack of selectivity. This is the reason. Lack of selectivity in their action, which necessitates the search for new compounds. Lack of selectivity necessitated the search for newer compounds which are semi-synthetic and synthetic, and they have more selective action. For example, drugs used for anti-Parkinsonism or spondylitis, they produce dryness of mouth and dilatation of pupil as undesirable effect. So, newer drugs like atropine substitutes were required, and we now will discuss those drugs. Among them, first is quaternary compounds. Quaternary compounds, they have some common features. They have incomplete oral absorption, means they cannot be absorbed completely when given orally. There is poor penetration in brain and in the eye, so central and ocular effects are not seen. Central and ocular effects means the effects of central nervous system and eye are not seen. Elimination is slower, so the duration of action is prolonged. And they have higher nicotinic blocking property, and some ganglion blockade may occur at clinical dosage. They have higher nicotinic blocking property and ganglion blocking effect may occur at clinical dosage. At higher dosage, some degree of neuromuscular blockade may occur. These drugs are, first one is atropine methonitrate. Atropine methonitrate, it is a quaternary compound derivative of atropine. It is a quaternary derivative of atropine and is poorly absorbed from GIT. Poorly absorbed from GIT has anti-muscarinic and ganglion blocking action, but no central nervous effect. Duration of action is 6 to 8 hours, had more potent action on salivary secretion and motility of the gastrointestinal tract. Use. The usage of this atropine methonitrate is congenital hypertrophic pyloric stenosis and pylospasm in children. In children, the condition occurs which is called congenital hypertrophic pyloric stenosis, and there may be pylospasm In these conditions, we use atropine methylnitrate. In abdominal colics, we can use this drug. Pain abdomen, colicky pain abdomen, we can use this drug, and the dose is 0.2 to 0.4 milligram given 4 to 6 times daily in children. 0.2 to 4 milligram. 0.2 to 0.4 milligrams, not 4, 0.4 milligram given 4 to 6 times daily in children. Then the next drug is hyoscine butyl bromide. Hyoscine butyl bromide. This is less potent than atropine, but the duration of action is longer, and its use in esophageal and GIT spastic condition. स्पाज्म होता है, जनरली हम लोग यूज करते हैं GIT के स्पाज्म, esophageal spasm. It is used in esophageal and GIT spastic conditions, peptic ulcer, ureteric and biliary spasm. This drug is available in the market as Buscopan 10 mg tablet, and injection also is available 20 mg per ml in ampoules. The dose is 20 to 40 mg. So this hyoscine butyl bromide is less potent than atropine, but has longer duration of action, and it is used in esophageal or GIT spasm, peptic ulcer, ureteric and biliary spasm. So, and this is available in the market and it is being only prescribed. Then there is another drug, ipratropium bromide. Ipratropium bromide, you might have studied in treatment of bronchial asthma. It is a synthetic quaternary antimuscarinic compound. It is a synthetic quaternary antimuscarinic compound, and it is taken as inhalation therapy and selectively acts on bronchial muscles without altering volume or consistency of respiratory secretion. It does not depress mucociliary clearance of bronchial epithelium. इसका फायदा क्या है कि ब्रोंकोसिलियरी क्लियरेंस को ये हिंडर नहीं करता है, रुकावट नहीं डालता है, सिक्रीशंस को नहीं बढ़ाता है, और ब्रोंकियल मसल्स को पर एक्ट करके ये ब्रोंकोस्पाज्म को खत्म करता है. ऑनसेट ऑफ एक्शन इज ग्रेजुअल. पीक एक्शन ऑफ ब्रोंकोडायलेटेशन डिक्रीज बाय 60 to 90 minutes. 60 to 90 मिनट्स में इसका पीक एक्शन होता है ब्रोंकोडायलेटेशन का, एंड द एक्शन लास्ट फॉर 4 to 6 hours. It acts mainly on receptors located in the large central airway, bronchioles. लार्ज सेंट्रल एयरवे पर जो रिसेप्टर्स है उस पर ये काम करता है. Compared to the sympathomimetics, which acts on peripheral bronchioles. Sympathomimetic drugs like salbutamol और tolutolin ये जो है पेरिफेरल ब्रोंकियोल्स पे काम करता है, जबकि इप्राट्रोपियम ब्रोमाइड लार्ज सेंट्रल एयरवे जो या ब्रोंकियोल्स है उस पे जो रिसेप्टर है वहाँ काम करता है. The parasympathetic tone is lowered in central airways, which is a major reversible factor in chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So, this drug is used for relief of bronchospasm or for bronchodilation in cases of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Ipratropium is more active on than in bronchial asthma. Bronchial asthma में ज़्यादातर पेरिफेरल ब्रोंकियोल्स का स्पार्क होता है. क्रोनिक ऑब्स्ट्रक्टिव पल्मोनरी डिजीज में सेंट्रल एयरवेज जो है, सेंट्रल ब्रोंकियोल्स जो है वहाँ पर प्रॉब्लम है. तो ये जो हिपराट्रोपियम है, सेंट्रल ब्रोंकियोल्स जो सेंट्रल एयरवेज है वहाँ पर जो मस्कुलर रिसेप्टर्स है वहाँ काम करता है और वहाँ पर ब्रोंकोडायलेटेशन करता है. तो इसका फायदा हम लोग को क्रोनिक ऑब्स्ट्रक्टिव पल्मोनरी डिजीज के ट्रीटमेंट में मिलता है. साइड इफेक्ट्स आर वेरी ट्रांजिएंट एंड लोकल. For example, dryness of mouth, cough, bad taste. Bad taste आता है inhalation. इसका inhalation हम लोग dry powder inhalation होता है या aerosol होता है. इसका टेस्ट bad taste आता है mouth में. There is no systemic side effect because of less absorption. इसका absorption बहुत कम है इसलिए systemic side effect नहीं होता. Use chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. In this condition, we use it as multi-dose inhaler or MDI, multi-dose inhaler or dry powder inhaler, and the dose is 20 to 40 microgram per puff. 20 to 40 microgram per puff. Very less more. And it is taken 3 to 4 times daily. Then the other is in perennial rhinitis. Many patients will come to you and say that they keep on having running nose. It is called perennial. सालों भर उसका नाक बहते रहता है. So in those conditions we can use this drug as a nasal spray, and the strength is 0.084% and used as nasal spray 1 to 2 spray per day. Then the other drug is tiotropium bromide. It is a poisoner of ipratropium bromide and it binds tightly to bronchial M1 and M3 muscarinic receptors, producing longer duration of action. It binds tightly, so the duration of action is longer, and it binds to bronchial M1 and M3 muscarinic receptors. This tiotropium bromide is not absorbed from GIT or respiratory mucosa. It is not absorbed and shows high selectivity with bronchial tree. It is very selective for bronchial tree. The dose is 18 microgram once daily as dry powder inhaler or aerosol multi-dose inhaler, and it is also used by inhalation. So in treatment of bronchial asthma you must have learned the drugs used by inhalation therapy, and among them you must have learned other sympathomimetic drugs like salbutamol and tetracycline, and these drugs are of different type, that is ipratropium bromide and this tiotropium bromide. Now we come to the next drug, that is propantheline. Propantheline is an anticholinergic drug and it reduces GIT motility, gastrointestinal motility को कम करता है, and it is claimed to reduce gastric secretion. So it is used in peptic ulcer and gastritis. Before these drugs like H2 receptor antagonist and proton pump inhibitor came, this drug was very much in vogue and was first line treatment for peptic ulcer and gastritis. This propantheline, and the dose is 15 to 30 mg orally The trade name is propanthine 15 milligram tablet. Nowadays it is not commonly used because the better drugs like ranitidine and pantoprazole or other PPIs are available. Then the next drug is oxyphenonium. Oxyphenonium is similar to propantheline. It acts similarly and it is given in case of peptic ulcer and gastrointestinal tract hypermotility. Dose is 5 to 10 milligram tablets. Then the next drug, the other drug is clininium bromide. Clininium bromide, it all comes under quaternary compound and all are anticholinergic drugs. And this is clininium is used in combination with benzodiazepines. For nervous dyspepsia and gastritis, peptic ulcer, irritable bowel syndrome, abdominal colics. Commonly used combination is 2.5 milligram clininium plus fluorodiazoxide 5 milligram. It is very commonly used in cases of nervous dyspepsia and irritable bowel syndrome. Then the other drug now in this group is pipendiolate methyl bromide. And it is used exclusively in cases of infantile colic. Infants में बच्चों में छोटे बच्चों में जो पेन एब्डोमेन की शिकायत होती है वहाँ पर हम लोग इसका यूज करते हैं. इन्फेंटाइल कोलिक, फ्लैचुलेंस डिस्पेप्सिया एंड गैस्ट्रोइंटेस्टाइनल स्पार. It is available as trade name Piptal drop for infants and children. Then the next drug is isopropamide. Isopropamide is used for hyperacidity, nervous dyspepsia, irritable bowel syndrome associated with mental and emotional distress. Now we come to another drug which is very important and used nowadays, glycopyrrolate. It is a synthetic quaternary compound. It does not process the blood-brain barrier, so very few central action. It does not cross the blood-brain barrier, so it does not have any central action. It is a rapidly acting antimuscarinic drug. And it is available as intramuscular and intravenous injection and oral forms are available. It is almost exclusively used as pre-medication before anesthesia. Pre-medication drug है ये. Pre-medication में हम लोग anesthesia से पहले इसको exclusively यूज करते हैं. एट्रोपिन की प्री-मेडिकेशन में देते हैं. ग्लाइकोपाइरोलेट की एट्रोपिन सब्स्टिट्यूट इसका भी यूज करते हैं. इसका फायदा क्या है? इट रिड्यूसेस सैलिवरी, ट्रैकियोब्रोंकियल एंड फेरेंजियल सिक्रीशंस. सब सिक्रीशंस को कम करता है. सैलिवरी सिक्रीशन को, ट्रैकियोब्रोंकियल सिक्रीशन को और फेरेंजियल सिक्रीशन. तो इसका फायदा एस्पिरेशन निमोनिया नहीं हो एनेस्थीसिया के दौरान या इंट्यूबेशन में प्रॉब्लम नहीं आए तो हम लोग इसको यूज करते हैं एज ए प्री एनेस्थेटिक मेडिकेशन. दिस ड्रग इज यूज्ड इन केसेस ऑफ एक्सेसिव salivation. For example, in case of sialorrhea, excessive ये सैलिवरी ग्लैंड्स का हाइपर एक्टिविटी के चलते एक्सेसिव सैलिवेशन होता है, वैसे केसेस में हम लोग इसका यूज कर सकते हैं। नाउ वी कम टू द ड्रग्स अंडर द अदर ग्रुप, दैट इज टर्शियरी एमीन। टर्शियरी एमीन्स, they have effect on central nervous system. The drugs are dicyclomine. Dicyclomine, it has anti-spasmodic action as well as direct smooth muscle relaxant action, and used in dysmenorrhea, painful menstruation, irritable bowel syndrome. The dose is 20 mg in adult and 5 to 10 mg in children. Then the next drug is in this tertiary amine group is valethamate. It is an anticholinergic and a smooth muscle relaxant, and it is used to hasten the dilatation of cervix during labor. लेबर में जब डायलेटेशन ऑफ सर्विक्स के लिए हम लोग इसको यूज करते हैं टू हैसन द डायलेटेशन ऑफ सर्विक्स, तेज करने, जल्दी करने के लिए। सर्विक्स डायलेटेड नहीं हो रहा है तो ऐसे कंडीशंस में वैलेथामेट का यूज करते हैं। ब्रांड नेम इपिटोसिन इज अवेलेबल एंड इट इज अवेलेबल एज इंजेक्शन एज वेल एज ओरल टैबलेट। द डोज इज 8 mg इंट्रामस्कुलरली and 10 mg orally. Then the next drugs are vesicoselective. Vesicoselective means they selectively act on the urinary bladder. Vesicoselective. So in this group, first one is oxybutynin. Oxybutynin, and it has higher affinity for receptors in urinary bladder and salivary gland. It blocks M1 and M3 receptors, has smooth muscle relaxant activity and local anesthetic action. स्मूथ मसल रिलैक्सेशन एक्टिविटी के साथ साथ लोकल एनेस्थेटिक एक्शन भी होता है। Used in to stabilize detrusor muscles in cases of urinary frequency. बार बार पेशाब लगना, यूरिनरी फ्रीक्वेंसी, वैसे केसेस में डिट्रूजर मसल्स को स्टेबलाइज करने के लिए हम लोग इसका यूज करते हैं। एंड इन केसेस ऑफ अर्ज इनकंटीनेंस